Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity. Welcome to a bit of a different setup. I don't know when I'm going to be uploading this video. I feel like I'm always recording and saving it for a rainy day, but this is the first day I am recording like this, and I'm standing up actually. It's the same kind of background, but just standing up a little bit higher, a little bit different, and it's weird for me, but I'm pretty sure it'll almost look the same for you, so that's good to know. But anyway, today we're going to be doing a tag video. You guys know I love tag videos, and Samantha March recently did one, and she called it, oh my goodness, of course I'm going to forget exactly what it's called, but I think it was called Top 5, Bottom 5 of Brands That Excite You the Most. Something like that. You guys have already seen what it is in the actual title, so that is what we are doing today. She actually tagged me. Thank you so much to Samantha for tagging me. Samantha's always really great at coming up with different ideas, different concepts, and this one came from a subscriber of hers, so I'll go ahead and leave her video link down below. I definitely recommend you go watch it, and I highly encourage you to check out her channel and subscribe to her, but just to watch the video and kind of get the idea that she had behind the video, because it's her brainchild, and I think it's a fantastic and really fun way to look at kind of top 5, bottom 5 kind of categories, because you see a lot of those videos on YouTube, but this was like brands that excite me the most and then the brands that don't excite me the most, and I thought it was just so fun and unique, so definitely make sure you check out her link and check out her video down below. But yeah, let's go ahead and just dive right into with my top 5 and bottom 5. I'm going to kind of follow Samantha's lead, and I'm going to start with my bottom 5. I feel like standing up, I'm going to be moving around so much more, but I'm going to try not to. But anyway, following Samantha's lead, I kind of wanted to start with the bottom 5, and the first one being Benefit Cosmetics. Benefit Cosmetics is a brand that I feel like they come out with a good, I don't even know if they're new releases, but they're always coming out with new products, kind of typically just repackaged, and maybe that's why they always bore me, but I don't know, just something about their new releases, it never sparks anything in me to kind of investigate further. I see like a new product, like, oh, what's that? And I check it out, it's like, oh, it's Benefit, it's a new mascara. One more to add to like the 5 billion that they own. Or, oh look, they're releasing another type of powder product. What is it? Just another shade of their hula. I just feel like they're always stuck in a rut. They never do anything interesting. And I remember at one point I was like, I don't think Benefit has any eyeshadow palettes. Like, they never come out with eyeshadow palettes, but they actually do. And I searched it, and then I found this very boring palette. So I was like, oh, that's why I've never been interested in a Benefit eyeshadow palette. So yeah, they were definitely an easy pick when I was thinking like, who am I least interested in when they come out with new launches? And it would have to be Benefit. The next brand is gonna have to be Wet n Wild, and not so much for the quality, because I do think their quality is pretty phenomenal. I can think of so many products that I have enjoyed from them through the years, especially their little quads and eyeshadow palettes and whatnot. They do have good quality, but I almost feel like a snob saying this, but as I've gotten more into eyeshadows, the fact that their packaging is so either plain or cheap kind of deters me. So I just find that when they come out with new releases, unless the color story or the concept of the product is super unique, I don't tend to gravitate toward them, just because the packaging is either so plainly, it's just kind of like there, or so cheap that they tend to break really quickly. And I'm someone, I've told you guys before, like I have a large collection, and not because I feel like I need it all, but especially like when we're talking just about eyeshadow palettes, I have such a large collection and I don't feel stressed to get rid of any because I enjoy the packaging. I'm big when it comes to packaging. I love beautiful packaging. I love cute packaging. When more practical things like foundation, I love practical types of packaging, but still, if it can be cute, I love the pretty packaging. And when it comes to Wet n Wild, I just feel like it's very bleh. So whenever I see their release, unless, like I said, it's something like a palette that really catches my eye, the color story grabs me, typically I tend to just skip over it, because I've had so many Wet n Wild products that just kind of break, especially their little compacts and stuff. The lids breaks off, and that annoys me so much. And it's just kind of, you know, just cheaper type of packaging. Not saying that that's bad, because that is what they cater to keep the cost down, and I think that is phenomenal. But since I've gotten to the point where I do buy more higher end products, and I would prefer to wait and save up to buy like the higher end palettes or something like that, I just feel like Wet n Wild is that brand that I just tend to pass right by them when they come out with new launches, and unless I get a lot of requests or something catches my eye, I tend not to pick up anything anymore from their new releases. Next would be Becca Cosmetics. I feel like Becca is just a brand that I never pay attention to. They come out with releases and they go out with releases, and I barely take a first look, because that's how off of the radar Becca is for me. I'm just so not into it right now. I'm going to be getting dark and light just because of the clouds going by, so apologies for that. But yeah, Becca's a brand that I'm just not really into. I just see their releases and I feel like they just they tend to always release the same kind of thing, except a different idea or color. Like their highlighters, I feel like they're always coming out with a new highlighter, but it's the same type of highlighter, just a slightly different. I don't know. And especially now that we have brands like OFRA, Lorac, what else? Who else has blinding highlights? I'm trying to think. I can't even remember, but there's so many blinding highlights that are on the market today that I have in my collection. Pixi, I love Pixi's highlighters. That the last time I brought Becca's highlighter out, I have, what do I have? Prosecco Pop. I put it on and I was just like I really had to sit there and go back and forth a couple times to really build it up to what I wanted. So that really just kind of surprised me. And ever since then, I've kind of realized that I just tend to ignore Becca's releases because they're not for me. They don't interest me. They tend to not. I mean, they did come out with that one, what was it, volcanic eyeshadow palette. That seemed really cool, but still very neutral. I don't know. They just don't release anything that captures my attention, and definitely nothing that causes me to like take a second look or anything like that. I just kind of see it. It's like, oh, something new from Becca, and just keep on scrolling. Next, I would have to say Tarte. Tarte is one that I try to be excited for the releases, but I tend to not, just because they come out with such neutral type of palettes, and then the brand as a whole kind of really caters to young teen age type of people, and I feel like that's just not my vibe. Every now and then the cute packaging I'm like, ooh, I'm into. Right now they just came out with some collab. I don't even know who with. They are collabing with some influencer, but I'm really side-eyeing that palette several times because it's a yellow palette with like 2 yellows in the palette. But that's like the first Tarte release that has come out that's actually captured my attention in forever. But yeah, I'm really not into them, and I've never been a huge fan of the Tarte Shape Tape. I can use it and I do get good use out of it, but I feel like 9 times out of 10 when I use it under my eyes, I tend to feel like it's very heavy on my under eyes, so I just don't tend to prefer it. They did come out with their Shape Tape, or face tape, that is nice. It didn't blow my socks off, so they've just come out with products that like I try to get into it. I try to get into the brand, but so far they're just not wowing me enough, and 9 times out of 10 when they come out with a new launch or a new release, I have absolutely no interest in it. And then last up, as my 5th for the bottom 5 category, would have to be MAC Cosmetics. MAC Cosmetics comes out with so many releases, so many collections, and I'm always just like, pass. Every now and then some of their collections really catch my eye, and I still remember some kind of aquatic type of collection they did years ago. I'm talking like 13, 14. It was right when I was getting into makeup, and I remember seeing it and just being like, oh my gosh, that's too much for makeup, and I didn't get it, and then like a year later I was a makeup addict like I am now, and I was like, shoot, I should have got it. I remember that collection. That was like the one and only collection that was really like, oh my goodness, that's so pretty. After I missed that collection, I remember a couple collections after that I was like trying to get into and be like, ooh, I like this, but I thought the packaging was pretty, but the products I wasn't crazy about. So ever since then, I tend to just let it go. And then especially now in 2019, my preferences have changed so much when it comes to makeup, when it comes to eyeshadow, that every release they come out with looks nice, but kind of looks like the same collection before, just different packaging. And unless they come out with something that's just like the packaging is jaw-dropping, I don't really take a second look at it. And I have not purchased from MAC in a very, very, very long time. And nothing has really caught my eye enough to be like, ooh, that actually looks neat. I might want to purchase it. Everything's just kind of been like, Okay, moving on over into the top 5. These are the brands that I am always the most excited when they are releasing a product. Doesn't matter what type of product, I'm always like, ooh, what are you coming out with? Ooh, what are you coming out with? I'm so excited. And the first brand I have to say is Juvia's Place. I absolutely love Juvia's Place. Yes, they are a fantastic brand for great quality and colorful products, but there's just something about the whole aesthetic, the whole concept of Juvia's Place that I absolutely love. And even if I'm not into the product they launch, I still am excited for the launch, and I can't wait to see what it is, or I can't wait to see how it does in selling when it does launch and that kind of thing. I just love the packaging of it. I love the bright colors. I love how they put interesting colors together. I feel like a lot of times brands kind of harmonize a palette, whereas Juvia's Place is more like, here are bright colors that, yes, they go together, but it's gonna stretch you and, you know, test you a little bit when you're putting it together and make you step outside your comfort zone and try something new. And I love that aspect of them. I haven't tried their highlighters, but I've heard great things. The packaging is always so beautiful. The pressing of their logo, everything is gorgeous. And that is a brand that doesn't matter what they're coming out with. When I hear they're coming out with a new product, or I see like Juvia's Place just dropped this, I'm like, what is it? Do I want it? And you guys know their Tribe palette that they launched, I think at the beginning or at the very end of 2019. Absolute favorite. It is so good. If you are a green loving girl, you need the Tribe palette in your life. So next up, I would have to say Menagerie Cosmetics. Now, this company was actually makeup monsters years ago. I can't remember when, maybe 17 or 18. well, last year was 18. I can't remember when. Very recently, they changed their name from Makeup Monsters to Menagerie Cosmetics, and I have tried them since they were Menagerie Cosmetics, but I remember when they were Makeup Monsters, I was eyeing them and drooling over their liquid lipsticks so hard, but I actually never made a purchase. I just kept, you know, kind of, I don't know. At the time, I guess I wasn't super into spending too much on makeup, especially makeup like indie brands that I couldn't try in store at Ulta or Sephora or something like that, and couldn't buy and put my money towards, you know, the reward system, or I couldn't buy with free shipping, that kind of thing. Now I'm very much more open to trying indie brands and just, you know, letting the rewards go by the wayside and forgetting about that. But at the time when they were Makeup Monsters, I wasn't really ready to buy from other brands that you couldn't get from Sephora and Ulta. So that was a brand that I was always eyeing, but I just never did. Last year I finally did make a purchase from Menagerie Cosmetics, but even like I said, before that I was very interested into the brand. I was very curious about Makeup Monsters, and then when they changed, I was like very intrigued and I couldn't wait to see what they did with their brand. And then when they came out with a Feral palette, I was all over that tease. When she was teasing the colors one by one, saying like, okay, this is going to be in the palette, this is going to be in the palette, I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was so excited. So ever since, oh my gosh, years ago, 5 years, I don't even know how long I've been eyeing that brand, but that is a brand that doesn't matter what they're coming out with. I'm always eyeing them. I'm always excited to see what they come out. She puts so much time and effort and thought into her packaging. It shows, and it just makes me so happy because you guys know I love packaging, so her palettes, her products are gorgeous, and I absolutely love that about them. So, and Menagerie Cosmetics is an easy one for me to say, yes, that is a brand that I get excited for every new release, no matter what they're coming out with. Next, I would have to say Melt Cosmetics, and this one I was a little torn on because I'm a little torn on Melt because they make me a little uncomfortable with some of the aspects of the brand. Like, they're just a little dark. Like, I like the grunge, but I don't like the dark. That's just not me. If you guys know me, I feel like that shouldn't be too surprising for me to say I don't like the dark and kind of, how do you say this in that way, almost dungeony aspect to the brand. Like, I don't know. I remember getting the Gemini palette in like the outer box. I was like, it had all these pictures, black and white pictures, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. That's a different aesthetic. And I was like looking at all the pictures, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'm putting that in the trash. So I hope that kind of explains like what I mean by I'm kind of torn when it comes to Melt, because I'm not totally into everything that the brand stands for, or like the aesthetic of the brand, but the colors that they come out with when it comes to the eyeshadow and the quality of their eyeshadows, I absolutely love. And Melt Cosmetics, from, oh my gosh, back to when all they had were lipsticks, that's how long I've been eyeing this brand. I remember when they first started to come out with eyeshadows, and I was just like, oh my gosh, these, especially since it was like the Rust stack or something, and I was into neutrals at the time, so I was just like, oh my goodness, I want one of those stacks. It's so bad. But of course, at the time when they were first launching those, that was a lot of money to spend on a couple single eyeshadows, so I never did purchase them, and I didn't start purchasing them till 2017, I think. But that's a brand I have been eyeing for so very long, and every new launch, I'm always like, what are they coming out with? They just launched like a duochrome stack that I think is really good and fitting for the brand. It's something they haven't come out with before. I'm not into it because I'm not super into duochromes, but all that to say, I have been so intrigued with Melt as a brand, and I'm always excited to see what new product they're launching. I do feel like I'm cheating a little bit with this next one, but the two brand owners are sisters, so I'm just going to put them both in the same category because I'm equally excited about them, and it is Blush Tribe and Certifeye. Those brands I have been so into. I can't even remember where I first started hearing about them. Was it Amy Loves Makeup? I think it was her channel that convinced me to buy the Hasina 2, and then it just was kind of a spiral from there. I learned about Certifeye, and it's just kind of been a whole big thing ever since then. So it hasn't been too long in the past that I discovered them, but ever since discovering them, I'm always super intrigued about what they're going to launch. Certifeye 2, I haven't tried the brand, but their palette concepts are so fun and unique, and I'm just kind of drooling over them. Right now they're pre-ordering, and I don't know when they're actually launching the Affinity 2 palette, but I keep eyeing it because it is a blue and green palette, and I just want the greens in the palette. It's so pretty, but they are more expensive, so they're definitely a brand that, while I would like to buy it, I know this is an American complaining, but it hurts to pay how much I have to pay for shipping, so that's really dissuaded me from buying too much from the brand. But I have bought the Hasina 2 from Blush Tribe, and also the Polina palette, because I was supporting a fellow influencer or a fellow content creator on here that I absolutely love, Polina's Beauty. So I've tried those two for the brand, and I would really like to try Certifeye, but It doesn't matter if I've tried it or not. They're a brand I'm super interested in, and anytime they're releasing something new, I'm like, ooh, what is it? Am I going to want it? They have neon. Blush Tribe has a neon palette they're coming out with. They have neon pigments, certified neon glitters. I'm just eyeing the neon. Very intrigued with those. Haven't bought anything yet, but yeah, I'm always super intrigued to see what new they're going to come out with. Last up for number 5, I would have to say Colourpop. Now, Colourpop is a brand that I don't buy all the releases. I bought actually very few things from Colourpop. I mean, they come out with products so frequently. You can't buy every new release from Colourpop. But even though I don't buy everything that they come out with, or I don't even buy half the things they come out with, I'm still super intrigued about Colourpop and their releases as a whole. Anytime that I see that Colourpop is coming out with a new release, I always immediately go like, wait, what are they coming out with? What is everything in the collection? What does it all look like? Am I going to be interested in it? 9 times out of 10, I'm not interested because it's just another neutral palette, but I'm still really intrigued with the brand as a whole. They do a really good job on packaging, making everything look pretty. You guys know I love pretty packaging. And overall, I just love how they're able to keep it cute, able to keep the quality good, and able to keep it affordable. And that's just kind of like right up my alley. I feel like I can splurge with a big order on Colourpop and still not hit the $100 mark, and that's really nice. But yeah, they are a company that doesn't matter what the launch is. I'm always really intrigued. I always keep an eye on it, and I'm always excited to see if it's something I'll want to participate in and purchase. Alright, so there you have it. Those are my top 5 and bottom 5 of brands that excite me or don't excite me the most. I hope you enjoyed hearing my picks and my reasons behind the brands that I picked. Let me know down below yours. Which brands are you least excited about when they come out with a new launch? And which brands are you always most excited to hear about? Let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, it would help me to give a thumbs up. But overall, I just hope you did enjoy the time that you took out to watch my video. I so appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. I'm always so appreciative, and I just want to take a moment to thank you guys for all the time that you take out to watch me, support me, and just hang out with me here as I talk about beauty related content. But yeah, thank you Samantha for creating this fun tag too. Make sure you go check out Samantha's channel. I'll have her channel linked down below as I already said. But with all that said, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I wasn't too all over the place, but I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.